Alrighty, I for one am very excited. Let's see, I'm trying not to go past, there we go. I want the original game warnings there. So, this is a horror game and contains flickering image effects, so FYI. But yes, so. Hee. This is a big update of the still in demo game Slay the Princess by the same folks by Black Tabby Games, who are the same folks who do Scarlet Hollow. Man, I still can't decide how I feel about this headband, but don't mind that. That has very little to do with what we're doing here. If I decide I get too tired of it, I'll just take it off. That'll be fine. Meh. Alright. Okay, so first I'm gonna mess with my preferences because I'd rather this be full screen. There we go. And also it looks like it is. Let's see. Yes. I like that background music. Oh, okay. Trying to get the game to fit to the screen. Alright, that feels like it's working now. Okay. Apologies for the slightly delayed start. Let's see. Let's check. Mic seems to be working. Desktop sounds seem to be working. And alright, so the first time I played this was when the demo first dropped, and I got 6 out of the 7 possible endings, if I recall correctly, at the time. So this time, we'll see how many. I mean, I'm only gonna do my usual 2 hours, but if I don't get, there's even more. There's at least 4 more now endings of what's out so far. So there's a very good chance that I will stream this again, possibly next week. Hello! Hello, Tapao! Alright, so total of 10 endings, yeah. I'm hoping to get through every ending, and it's just the demo, and these aren't, like, real endings, it's the demo endings, you know? Anyone who knows the game knows, you know, basically what I'm saying is I would like to play through the whole demo on stream. Oh! I missed Box Puppy's stream. Oh, man. Sorry, just the opening screen changing like that is very cool. I will have to go back and watch their VOD. So yes, I'm gonna get through as much as I can in my usual 2-hour time block, and then and then there's a very good chance I will try streaming again. Probably not next week, because next week I'm literally have tickets to see a theatrical, a musical with Tapao, in fact. But, you know, we'll see. So, let us start a game. Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
So I do very much like the voice acting, so I do plan to let the voice acting read the lines. But we'll discuss my thoughts and comments and choices as the game
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Okay. Oh, there's so many options! Let's start with noping the heck out.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
I think I'm gonna move my camera based on how I wasn't quite sure what it would look like. what the game outline would look like, that is. Sorry, still in early, That's fair, Tapao. I mean, I think, the full scope of this game has yet to be revealed, essentially. Like, I think, let's do, yeah, upper corner, I guess. I think the entire context of the game is going to require the later chapters to really make sense. But it is clearly intentionally not fairly trippy. Alrighty. Yeah, alright, so for the first choice, I was like, just turn around and leave. And for this choice, nope!
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it.
Thanks, voice of the hero.
Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Bah. Trust not the narrator. Well, I don't trust the narrator anyway.
That's strange.
Oh.
It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
You can't tell me what to do, narrator!
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
You're not emotionally blackmailing me into doing this.
Stakes
Yes.
and consequences aren't emotional blackmail. They're facts of life, and if you had an ounce of maturity, you'd understand that.
Wow. Just going straight with the insults, Essie. Also, one sec, I'm turning my phone notifications off, because there was one that happened that was very loud.
But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna stick to my guns and choose, oh yeah? Well, I guess I start walking in a different direction. Again! In fact, I'm going to just keep trekking through the wilderness until I find a way out of this place.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will.
Also, Tapao, did you see my new chat overlay thing? Although that has just made me think maybe I should move my camera back down a little. That it shows what people are chatting at the top. Oh, where do I actually want this camera? Maybe right above the dialogue would be good, actually. Yeah, check it out. Do you see it? I think it's neat. I like it because it's like people can see the chat and when they go to watch the VODs, but it's like inobtrusive. Yes, it is. It is a new permanent feature for my, at least for visual novels, because I like having the chat be visible, but I also like having it be like kind of minimal so it doesn't take up too much of the screen, and I also have it fade out pretty quickly. So alrighty, so the narrator is continuing to tell me that I'm making terrible choices, but...
And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes.
Yes.
Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves, but as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light.
Also, I love Johnny Sims. Like, he's got such a good voice for this kind of thing.
In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
Oh, that's a good point, Tapao. I'll have to fuss with my chat settings and see if I can get that to show up. I think it's because the pronoun thing, which, in case any lurkers happen to be around, I think the scroll chat also doesn't show... Oh, huh. Why isn't that command working? I also think it doesn't show bots, but because the pronoun, showing your pronouns in chat is itself a third-party extension, and this chat is also a third-party extension, so I'm not quite sure. But I will investigate further because I do like having the pronoun thingy thing. The pronoun third-party app is the third-party app to show your pronouns in chat is very cool, and I do recommend it. Alrighty, so I did remember this from the first time I played, the just noping the heck out, forcing you into fractal land.
Wait, what's going on? But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world.
Yes, I do. And yes, I am.
You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death.
Deal with it.
You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Okay. Chapter 2. The Stranger.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Oh man, there's so many good there's so many good options here. Oh, there's not an option to leave because there's walls now. Oh, I just love that effect. Also, give me just one moment. I have been looking over at my OBS and thinking, this just doesn't quite look right. And now I will match the tone of the game. Actually, ooh, maybe I should try black and white? Nah, I think sepia is the right answer. Nah, that still has too much color. So it's black and white or sepia, and I think sepia is the way to go. Or is it sepia? I'm actually not sure how to pronounce that. Anyway, now I feel as though my camera will be a little less mismatched with the rest of the visual. Kind of too bright a pop of color. Oh, also thank you for subscribing again to Pow. Oh no, it's not that you subscribed, you subscribed. Oh, thank you for subscribing my bot. I appreciate that. I never remember to do it. I really appreciate that you have been re-upping my bot. My Stream Elements bot. Yes, no, my bot has very good emotes when it is subscribed to my channel. Alright, Chapter 2 has begun. There are walls. I don't know if there is, like, so although these are listed as explore options, I'm not sure I'll be able to take more than one of them. So I can't decide if I want to say, okay, no, or those walls weren't here last time, but I think because this is the only route I know of where the walls show up, we're gonna go with this one. And then if I get another chance, maybe I'll say, okay, no. But yeah. Those walls weren't here last time. You can't just force me to go to the cabin.
What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there. It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost. Or, heaven forbid, someone other than you might have stumbled onto the princess. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience.
I love Voice of the Contrarian. This is definitely one of my favorite routes just because of that voice. It's not the only really good extra voice that gets added, but like Voice of the Contrarian is one of the top tier. In my opinion.
He might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways we can ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet. And you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
Oh good, I do get to choose other explore options. So let's just go with, okay, no.
Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all.
Bold of you to assume my okay no was about morals as opposed to about ruining your day, narrator.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe...
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's more might have
and
all
then
of
they say the exact same
my
things.
day. The world really did end. The world hasn't ended yet.
I don't know if that's a bug or... Oh, hello, Artemisia! This is such an interesting game. I don't know if you're at all familiar. I'm very excited about it. Yep, we're gonna lie. Yep, okay. Heading to the cabin now, where I'm definitely going to slay that princess.
You know I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you.
Nah.
A warning before you go any further.
Walls.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
So I'm not sure how much further this will go because this is the extended demo. But when I played this the first time, this loop should just be ending. And when it starts again, the narration will kind of explain what's going on. Oh, hello, Nicole Goodnight. For context for other folks, Nicole Goodnight is actually the voice actress for the princess. And also, hello, Box Puppy. I missed your stream earlier, but I'll definitely check out the VODs. I'm very excited. So currently, I mean, I'd say I'm on a stranger run, but you can kind of tell because of the walls. So
if we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar.
I love Voice of the Contrarian.
Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it.
Yeah, he is, and so am I.
Let's keep an open mind. The interior of the cabin is odd. The air smelling faintly of plastic, the wood of the walls fitting together at uncomfortable angles. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table, its legs all the wrong lengths. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
So, this is my very first run of this playthrough. So I didn't actually go into the cabin for the first time. So anyone for whom this is new, I'm just gonna state for the record, this is not what the cabin looks like when you walk into it for the first time.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
And when I say for the first time, I mean, if you actually go to the cabin in Chapter 1, will not look like this.
If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway?
And you know what? I think the voice of the Contrarian makes an excellent point.
I, for one, would rather have it. We don't really know what we're dealing with here. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise?
No, I can't watch Fox Puppy's VODs. Oh, that's tragic. Oh, the mirror is new.
Ooh, we should look at ourselves. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh my gosh, can we look at ourselves? I have been wanting to know what our character looks like so bad.
You won't be looking at yourself because there isn't a mirror. There's the table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. You insisting it isn't there just makes me want to look at it even more.
Let's approach the
Walk
mirror.
up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
Because before the big update, there were a couple of scenes where you could see your character's hand, and it always looked like this. And if you look at the pointer, it also matches that. So whatever your character is, oh man, there's something going on.
But it was there a second ago.
I'm just so excited about the lore of this game.
And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
Yeah, voice of the Contrarian, I agree. At this point, let's just go in the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase built from an unidentifiable and featureless material. The steps barely seem to fit together, and upon closer inspection, they barely seem to go anywhere at all, let alone down.
And Artemisia, what we are about to see is not what the princess would have looked like if I'd gone in the cabin the first time, but you'll see when I run it back around to chapter 1.
The air here has an almost artificial quality to it, the scent of plastic from the cabin mingling with a cocktail of chemical odors. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Also, for anyone who has watched the Magnus Archives, extremely vibes of The Strangers. The Stranger, sorry.
Her voice carries up the stairs, its multi-tonal lilt adding to the already uneasy atmosphere.
Oh, and here we will get to hear the dulcet tones of Nicole Goodnight.
Hi, though. Is someone there?
There's an actual emoji.
This isn't what I expected her to sound like. What is she? Well, she's not a princess, that's for sure. She is a princess. Don't let your imagination run wild.
Is that company? We don't remember the last time we had company.
I love that the speech has emojis. Also, I forgot to read it out loud, but the thing I chose was to just say, hi! For my character. Yes, to Pow, this is creepy.
It takes you a moment to orient yourself before you're able to start moving forward. As you enter the next room, the form of the princess comes into view, her wrist bound to the far wall in heavy shackles. She locks eyes with you, one moving a little faster than the other. the loose skin of her face stretching into something resembling a smile. Holy shit. If we knew she'd be like this, maybe we would have taken the knife?
Why are you just standing there? Are you scared of us?
I mean, admittedly, a little. A little. A little. And that's the end of what is available so far for the Stranger run. Alrighty. So that's 1 out of 10 potential routes down. Just kind of skimming. Although, actually, I wonder if I made it into that. I should check next time around. I did sign up for the alpha, but I kind of just did it for the Scarlet Hollow alpha stuff. For Slay the Princess, I waited until the update dropped, so I haven't played the new content at all yet. But as previously mentioned, I've played this once before. In the old version of the demo. Alrighty, Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Alright, I'm now going to do, follow more or less the path I followed the very, very first time I played this game when I had no idea what was going on, and I was like, why do I have to kill the princess, huh? Which is a different type of being contrary, but, like, the contrarian is only for the route where you just say no, I think, so there's a different route when you're like, well, I'll go talk to the princess, but I'm not going to promise that I'm going to slay her. So, of all of these things, I'm going to go with, have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up.
So you say.
And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Again, this assumes that I trust the narrator at all. Also, I'm realizing that I, the player, am a little bit voice of the contrarian. Alright, I suspect that depends on the route, Artemisia, but, like, so far there haven't been any literal egg hatchings. I do want to show what it was like when I go to the cabin normally, so I will just silently continue. Well, no, okay, I'm going to complain one more time. Let's see. Actually, you know, especially because Artemisia, you've never seen this, I'll go through all the explore options. So let's start with the end of the world? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Alright. But how can a princess locked away in a basement end the world?
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
Do you have any evidence to back this up?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Unclear, Artemisia. The point at which Chapter 1 started, Artemisia, is the point at which the game begins. All of the information you have is, like, especially if it were your first time running this, like, everything that I have done from Chapter 1 to here is all the information we have. We have no idea who we are, who the narrator is, what's going on, who the princess is. That's why we have the option to ask all these things. Let's see. Alright, here it is. Look, I'll go to the cabin and I'll talk to her, and if she's as bad as you say, then maybe I'll slay her. But I'm not committing to anything until I've had the chance to meet her face to face.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us.
Alright, I will.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
Also, for the record, for anyone only listening and not watching, sometimes I will respond to the narrator with things the game has actually officially given me to say. Sometimes I will respond to the narrator with my own comments. Right, Artemisia? Like, I'll do some runs. I want to try and get all 10 endings, so I'll do some runs where I just do what the narrator says. But by default, I do not trust the narrator. I have no idea what's going on with the narrator. And also, you can't tell me what to do, Mr. Narrator Jerk. But at least that's my personal feelings as the player. But yes, so at this run we're going with the vibe I'm going for is let's befriend the princess and help her rather than kill her.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Alright, so this is the Chapter 1 default. So Chapter 1 is the default mode of the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
So yes, this is the default mode. This is how the cabin originally looks when you go into it the first time.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Nah.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
And this is how the princess, again, normally sounds. Yeah, right, Artemisia, that's also a very good question. There's a lot about this premise that is extremely suspicious and strange, and the narrator wants you to believe that it's just normal, and the narrator is something. The narrator clearly has ulterior motives.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
So say you. Alright. Yeah, no, I'm gonna just straight up go with, look, princess, I'm here to save you.
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
Well, certainly it is my intent on this run to rescue her.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Whoops! Maybe grabbing that knife would have been handy, but I was going in, I'm kind of role-playing this one as my character had no way to know that the knife might be useful.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
Alright, I'll see what I can do.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs.
Nope.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Alright, will do, Artemisia. This is a game I am very excited to theorize about with people. Alright. I'm going to check upstairs. Maybe the key's still lying around somewhere up there, and if not, maybe I can at least find something to break you free.
Okay. I'll be here. Good luck.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
And there's also, there is no point at which, at least in the original, the first run of the demo, the first version of the demo, there was no point at which a character other than the princess or yourself ever actually appeared on screen. So there's a big question of who the hell closed and locked that door?
Is someone else here?
Or what?
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
Alright, we're gonna try yelling, "Hey, let me out of here!"
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
Well,
She barely hesitates.
you know,
before
only
raising her
one way
arm
to
to
do
her
that.
mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
Yes, I talked over the narration because I absolutely forgot to give a content warning before this happened. I didn't remember it happening quite the moment I chose that. The first time I played through this was the first time anything weird or bad had happened. It was very alarming. So yes, I did talk over the narration, but she barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf, in case anyone needed that. So, I think the visuals get a little worse before they get better. It's pretty obvious what she's doing here, I think. She is absolutely just going to chew off her own arm. It's fine, it's fine.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
I actually, depending on your choices, it can actually limit, like, at various points, like, because all of the choices I have made so far have been exclusively in favor of helping the princess, even though the blade has appeared, I actually don't have an option other than save the princess, because at no point did I doubt her, or say anything that would imply that I was even considering it. On the other hand, if I had gone through all of this, but I had done a few more dialogue options that made it sound like I was considering, I might have had two options here. But, you know, I'll show that off in additional runs. So, this is run 2 of at least 10, if I want to get through all the endings. So yeah, the blade is here. Might as well make it a little easier on her than having to gnaw off her own arm and just cut it off with a sharp blade, and let's save the princess.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place.
And this is another place where you see the main character's arms.
Cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't.
Yeah, like, there's clearly something up with the princess.
She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
I'm not gonna lie, it is a little unsettling.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of
Oh my gosh.
The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world.
So, I will have probably a stronger reaction to anything that happens that didn't happen in the demo run. And this, so the narrator pulling this crap is not new. That happened last time I tried this run as well, so I know what's going to happen next. But the cursor changing is new and cool as heck. Oh my gosh. The cursor hand is now holding the bloody blade. That's amazing. It's such a tiny detail, but it's a really cool one.
As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Okay, so this was, like I said, the very first run I did, which definitely, more than anything else, made me incredibly sus of the narrator. Like, the narrator does not respect your choices. And is trying to force you to slay the princess. However, if you scroll down, there is at least one option where you can push through and warn her.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Well, I think it is incredibly rude, narrator, that you have stolen my character's body, so no. If there is an option to resist, and if you look for it, there is, we're gonna resist.
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm doing what I want, Mr. Narrator.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Oh. Oh. I like this princess. She's so nice to you. I mean, other than the fact, I know that's weird for me to say that after she just stabbed your character in the chest. But, like, she feels bad about it. And she's just, oh, she was really dry. Okay, maybe I have a slightly unhealthy reaction to the... I just really like the damsel route. Alrighty.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's definitely new. I thought some of this was new content also, so all of this has been expanded on a bit, and like, oh, like, I also think that was related to my reaction, was her, like, apologizing and being dismayed is I'm pretty sure new content.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over.
Her eyes are already going damsel-y. I love it. So, Box Puppy, I haven't seen the tower yet, because, like, this is, I am playing this all live on stream in that anything that is new content from the demo, I'm repeating myself, apologies for that one, but yes, anything that is new content for this update, I haven't seen yet.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
Including her super big teary eyes. Chapter 2. The Damsel.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Yeah, alright, I'm gonna go for this one because it is, I think, unique, at least somewhat unique. Oh, you bastard! You're in for it now! I'm wise to your tricks!
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We just met for the first time.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because I'm actually kind of inclined to believe that at the beginning of Chapter 2, the narrator genuinely doesn't realize that Chapter 1 has happened. Oh man, this game is just so interesting! Alright, see you later, Tapao.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Well, I would of course appreciate people sticking around for my stream. Once I'm done, I'll probably, like, if Tapao is still going, I will probably raid over. But if not, here is a shout out to go check out my friend Tapao. So yes, Voice of the Hero is encouraging, is suggesting that we keep it quiet.
Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
Voice of the Smitten.
Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works.
Okay, that took me a second because I was like, wait, the four of us? But then I realized he probably means the princess. So he means Voice of the Hero, himself, Voice of the Smitten means themselves, Voice of the Hero, essentially you the player, or whatever you the player are representing, and the princess. 4 against 1!
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. Sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
I think Voice of the Smitten is very funny. Alright, well, let's just go to the cabin and try again to save her.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
So the fact that your choices so dramatically shape what the princess is like in Chapter 2, I find just to be a super interesting factor of this game. I mean, it's the core feature of this game, which, you know, makes me wonder a lot about the nature of reality in this game, and if, like, your character's thoughts and opinions actually shape what the princess is like, or if she shapes herself to be more like what you imagine, or etc. Oh my gosh, you're not wrong, Box Puppy.
We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in.
Sure, buddy.
I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed.
Okay, I do think I am entertained by Voice of the Smitten, which is good, because I'm, you know, when the whole game drops, I'll probably be spending some time with this one. First, or this is probably going to be one of the first full runs I do, once the whole game drops. So it's important that I like the extra voice that gets added for this run.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet.
I also like this, Voice of the Smitten is it's not that the Voice of the Hero disagrees with Voice of the Smitten, just is hey man, maybe you could be a little less intense.
Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
Alright, let's see what the cabin looks like this time.
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Mirror, mirror. Okay, so I guess the mirror on the wall, it made sense for the stranger, but it seems like maybe it's new for all of the runs? So I'm gonna keep trying with the mirror, and it's probably gonna go the same way every time.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
So at the moment, I'm seeing the stone walls as... Yes, Box Puppy, totally. But yes, so right now, the wall around the mirror is the stone wall that the character is perceiving for this chapter.
What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But there was a mirror a second ago.
Oh. Okay, so in this one, the mirror changes to the tapestry, so it doesn't affect the actual walls. It's just that the mirror disappears.
And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place, and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
Yes, further confirmation of bird person. That's actually interesting because that implies that the voices might tell us more in this update about what our character looks like. Artemisia didn't look like it. Alrighty, I'm not taking Blade because who needs Blade for saving the princess? Well, okay, we kind of could have used one beforehand, but I don't want to risk the narrator taking us
open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight.
Ha! Box Puppy. Legit. Yeah, no, that tracks. And for anyone who doesn't have context, Abby and Tony are the names of the people who are run Black Tabby, like Black Tabby Games, like is Abby and Tony's studio. Like these two people made Black Tabby Games. Yes, that. And are the primary creative and driving forces behind both Scarlet Hollow and this game. They are absolutely gremlins. Box Puppy does not lie.
But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Okay, narrator, you're really stretching on this one. Like, our belief in the princess has made this into quite a fine, fancy dungeon. Like, she's probably, like, you're really stretching it to say that we're doing her a favor.
A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already.
Alright, buddy.
I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning.
It's okay, voice of the hero. As far as I can tell, I'm driving this train. Then again, the narrator took over pretty easily, so hopefully voice of the smitten won't take over and be creepy at her, but it's fine as long as voice of the smitten is internal and not external.
Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
You know she can't hear you, right?
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
It's okay, buddy. It's probably for the best that we filter what you're actually saying for the princess's sake. Yeah, interesting question, Artemisia. That sure does look like a window to a starry sky. Fascinating.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
I was so worried about you. You remember me, right?
Okay, she does remember us. Damsel! Anime girl! So, yeah, okay. Based on the voice of the smitten and the fact that she's an anime girl, I'm comfortable calling the damsel route the waifu route. Like, that's clearly the voice of the smitten is like, the princess is amazing, she is our new waifu. She does just feel like an anime waifu. Alright. So that was the stranger and the damsel. And let's keep on keeping on. In fact, as you see, Tony and Abby are most of the names in these credits. Except, of course, for the voices and the sound and music. And these things. Just skimming in case there are any immediately familiar names. I mean, a couple of names I recognize from the Discord. Oh hey, there it is! There I am! Look at that! I'm in the credits! Neato! I feel cool. Alrighty. Alright, so that's 2 down. Minimum 8 to go. Chapter 1. The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Yep. Alright, so I have a plan for this run. The plan is go hardcore slay mode.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Do you know, I also am just realizing I don't remember if there was a save function in the original version of the demo. And maybe I should have been saving these games so that I could pick up from... Nah, I mean, it's short enough that when I play the real game, I can just start over from the beginning.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Thank you, Box Puppy. For now, I'm starting out with, like, obvious theme runs, like... I remembered how to do Stranger and Damsel, like, they're both very straightforward, just absolutely refuse to even go to the cabin, like, do everything in your power to save the princess, and now I'm going for absolute silent killer mode.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Oh, whoops. I clicked too fast. So, missed the narrator for this one, but you take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an
This is a long enough
unseen
descriptor
below.
that I think I'm just gonna skip.
This
Oh,
is
yes!
an impressive place. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Oh, yes! We now have the cursor with the knife. Oh my gosh, Fox Puppy! Yes! This is like Silent Max if he had a psychotic break. Silent Max being one of my concept runs for Scarlet Hollow for anyone who might be lurking and doesn't have the context. But, yes. Alright, one sec. I'm gonna turn my light on. Getting dark. Well, starting to get dark, but... Ha ha ha, it is 6:45 and it is only just starting to get dark. Yes, good. Sorry, I like later sunsets.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Interesting. This is the first time I've made a choice where she started off differently. I don't remember that anyway. I could be misremembering.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Because we haven't said anything in her defense and immediately grabbed the knife. She is coldly beautiful.
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
I mean, yes, but this is in fact the silent run, so steel your nerves and step forward.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
Do you hear the conviction in her voice? Do you see the razor sharpness in her gaze? I don't think she's bluffing.
Oh man, yes, Fox Puppy, the voice acting in this is just so on point.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this. You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
And look at all those feathers.
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
There it is again. That razor-sharp look in her eyes and the terrifying conviction in her words. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
Oh. Oh no, I can't stay silent here. Oh, and there's 3 different options. That could change the princess I end up with. Oh. Oh man, alright. Huh. So this was the silent killer route. Let's go for, of course it is. She's dead.
Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here. You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of space.
Oh, well, I'll see you later, Fox Puppy. But also, I'm just like, curses, I forgot that there's a save function, and I could have saved at that choice? Wait, is there an auto... Can I go... Well, that's a history. Is there auto-saving? There is! Okay, so I'm gonna load this really quick so I can save here, and we can try from there again. Because that'll be a little faster than just going through the initial narration every single time. And so I'm gonna just skip ahead to where we
your work
were.
done. Why do you? But that.
And then we tried to leave.
You open the cabin door, ready to only. A world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of space. What happened?
Right. So now that we've gotten here, I'm actually starting to remember what the deal was with this. Because, again, this story is deeply shaped by what your character says and thinks. And in this, your character went, like, I had the character go straight for killing the princess, and then declared that it was done. There's nothing else out there.
Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy.
Alright, also though, I do remember this route as another one that made me extremely suspicious of the narrator. I do not care for the narrator. Let's save there as well. Yeah, let's just go with... Oh, okay.
I'm so glad you're keeping an open mind. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
Like, okay, just stating for the record, as a player, I do not trust the narrator, but for the sake of this run, I'm just rolling with it.
Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days, or months, or years, or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier.
Sure.
Psst. Hey, we're not just gonna stay here forever, right?
Alrighty. Save here as well. Alright, and now we're doing the totally doing whatever the narrator says option. So, didn't you hear the narrator? I'm happy. We're happy.
Are we really happy? Or is he just telling us that we are?
No, we're happy. I'm sure of it.
Really? Well, if you ever change your mind, just let me know, I guess. More happy time passes, though the word begins to lose its meaning. Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning. Please, shake yourself out of it. We have to get out of here. The little voices, please, fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass ceased to have any meaning to you long before that shift, you simply exist. Happy. Forever.
And that is an actual valid ending to the game. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, this is not the start of its own run. This is, we have achieved an ending that the narrator would sure like us to believe is the good ending. Very believable good ending. Good ending. You did it. You saved everyone. Is that to be continued as well? Or is that just what it says at the end of every ending, regardless? Because I feel like that would be a game over, even in the final version of the game. Alright, so I'm gonna poke at those saves. And let's go back. So this is, we have killed the princess on the silent killer route. And the voice of the hero is asking, hey, we're not just gonna stay here forever, right? And this time, I'm going to side with the voice of the hero instead of the narrator. Alrighty. Hell no. Do you have any idea how to get us the heck out of here?
I do, but you're probably not going to like it. The blade. We can use the blade to get out of this. I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right. It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare.
You know what? Sure. The choice here is anything to get out of this hell. But the player, am taking a more cavalier approach to it. It's like, well, we'll probably be fine, and it's probably better than being stuck in the box that is this cabin room for the rest of eternity. So, let's do it.
Thank you. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate.
Wow, narrator doesn't like this option.
Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs. The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
Chapter 2. The Spectre.
You're on a path in the woods.
Oh,
And at the
Artemisia,
end
I
of
didn't
that
notice that
path
the window had
is a
changed.
cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Alright, I'm gonna choose the, I'm gonna err on the side of choosing the option that is different depending on what I did in the first chapter. Oh, Artemisia, I actually think bars might be the default state of the window. I think the window without bars was the damsel princess, shifted room. Alright, so we're gonna try the explorer option that is unique to this, but I killed myself! What am I doing here?
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. That's fine. It wasn't very hard to kill her last time. We'll just do it again.
Oh my. Voice of the cold. I mean, I did in fact go the cold-blooded killer route. To just go right up and stab her.
Well, if for whatever reason you're going to insist that this has happened before, at least your heart's in the right place.
Alright, proceed to the cabin.
A warning. Before you go, she will lie.
Alright, I'm gonna
she
skip
will
this
cheat,
bit.
She won't be a problem.
Oh damn! Voice of the cold. She won't be a problem.
The interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odor of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only furniture of note is an elegant antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already.
Alright. I am going to approach the mirror in every ending just because the voice that we get is different for every ending and therefore might tell us something different about what we look at. What we look like.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. you reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But there was a mirror a second ago, and now it's gone. Let's not spend much longer worrying over it. Clearly, it's not even important enough to be acknowledged.
Alright, Voice of the Cold just don't care. I mean, since we have Voice of the Cold, I feel like might as well take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
I love that the cursor changes when you have the blade, and also that there was a bloody version of the blade. Well, of your hand holding the blade. Or of the blade being held. Yeah, well, whatever.
The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The very building itself feels dead. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. The room below is silent. Nobody's here. Naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see.
Yeah. Yeah, let's.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body, lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain.
Voice of the Cold told you.
Okay. She's definitely dead. It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous skeletal grin.
Yep. Yeah, no, Artemisia, I hadn't totally noticed that, because, like, the whole cabin changes depending on, what you have done in Chapter 1. But that's a cool note. I never really noticed the window changing. But yes, welcome to Spooky Princess!
And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? Ghost! Oh, wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went. Like how you murdered me.
I mean, fair. And there is the specter. Alrighty. We have gone through the credits, so I'm gonna skim through them from here on. Although I will always stop for my name. Hooray, there is my name. Alrighty, I definitely have some more runs to get through today, although I will be streaming this again sometime probably next week. But in the short term, I'm gonna be right back. So stick around. I do plan to run more routes. And we'll be back shortly. Alrighty, I return. So, there's still some things I want to try off of my previous saves. So I did the only options there. I kind of feel like this is going to end up going the same way, but I'm just going to check it really quick. Because I feel like we did the cold-blooded the really cold-blooded version of slaying the princess. And that's gonna lead us to either the good end, according to the narrator, or the cold, voice of the cold, but / the specter princess. But I'm just gonna check if one of these options does something different. So this is after having slayed the princess, walking out of the cabin.
What's done is done. And there's no going back now.
And being like, this is some bullshit.
This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't
Yeah,
be
okay,
sure if
actually, I don't think that was really worth. Let's just see. No, not overwrite save. Load. Okay, so saying that's bullshit, let me out of here made no difference. Let's just see what the narrator says if we had said, I was kind of hoping I'd get a better ending for saving the world.
this isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No. This is the beginning of eternity. Your reward.
Okay, that is fascinating new dialogue.
This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes.
Yes.
Psst.
Alrighty.
We're not just going to stay here forever, right?
History? Yeah, that's load. Alright. This will definitely change things, though. Going back to... one sec. Sorry. There was food in front of me and it looked so tasty. I should wait. This is a game with narrators. I should wait until they're talking before I take bites of food. Foolish of me. It was just so tempting. Alrighty, so this is a save from the version wherein I had my character just silently go up and stab the princess. So going, of course she is, she's dead, got me the voice of the cold, but let's see what happens if instead my character thinks, of course not. That was too easy.
It's over. Don't get all worked up. We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse? I really don't think you should do that. And why shouldn't we? Is there something you're not telling us? I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy. The princess is dead. Your blade pierced her heart. There's no coming back from that.
Let's remove the blade.
You lean down and wrap your hand around the blade's hilt. But as you begin to slide it out of its resting place, you feel a sharp and sudden jab in your side. What was that?
I guess I won't be dying alone after all.
Quick, let's get out of here. It's too late for
Oh
that
my.
now. You collapse to the ground as the mortally wounded princess twists a blade of her own deeper between your ribs.
Where did she even get that? Also, can I just say, that is not a face I wanted to see while I was like taking a bite of food and accidentally bit my inside of my cheek. That was just an alarming conjunction of events.
As you fall, she falls with you, exhausted by the effort, the little life that was left in her eyes fading rapidly.
An eye for an eye. A life for a life. I guess we're even now. See you around.
You were so close. Why did you hesitate? It doesn't matter. At least you managed to take her with you, for whatever that's worth. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2, The Razor.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Yes, good. I think this is one of the new ones.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Alright, so let's go with the explore option that is unique to the ending. But I already slew the princess. Sure, she killed me too, but I definitely got her. Why am I here again?
I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time. If she doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Are we sure we don't want to turn around and hightail it out of here? I really don't want to be stabbed to death again.
Oh, voice of the flinching.
Stabbed to death? You won't have to worry about that. The princess is unarmed. But that's exactly what you told us last time. You said this whole thing would be easy, but after we sank our blade into her heart, she just got up and started stabbing us. Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons. So there's no reason to fear her. You were made for this job. You'll do just fine.
You're not wrong, Artemisia. Voice of the Flinching has got very brave Sir Robin vibes. Although, it is fascinating that a narrative that seems to be... that certainly has elements of multiplicity would describe this as you were made for this job. Alrighty, let's proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. No, we can't go in there. Do either of you feel sick? Because I feel sick just thinking about that place. We're going to die again, and I bet it's going to hurt.
Aw, poor Voice of the Flinching.
It's good to be careful, but you're really not helping with all that talk about death and dying. Agreed. Just ignore that clown and stay focused. The interior of the cabin is a jagged mess of warped wood and broken boards, their splintered edges as uninviting as shattered glass. The only furniture of note is a pointed table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Alright, we're checking out the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
But there was a mirror a second ago.
And now it's gone. For the love of everything, can we just get this over with already? All this waiting is killing me.
Alright, that didn't do anything different. This seems like it's gonna be a scary princess. Let's arm ourselves.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Okay. Holding it feels a little better. Maybe we can make it through this.
There you go, Voice of the Flinching.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall. The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. And you can hear what sounds like the rhythmic scraping of metal coming from down below. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. That's right! Scraping! I told you she has something! I told you! That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. I am begging you to get out of your head. Her grating voice carries up the stairs.
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here forever.
Is something wrong with that voice? I can hear her bloodlust.
Yeah, fair enough.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room.
Oh man, now we're just like in a cave. Window has become a ceiling window.
I wonder if she remembers us.
Finally, somebody, quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
We're not falling for it. She's tricking us. Can't you hear that threatening edge to her voice. She just wants us to get close, to let our guard down. Then it'll all happen again.
I mean, to credit Voice of the Flinching, we sure cannot see her hand.
If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right?
Oh my. Oh my. Well, that's suspicious. Alrighty, so that version of the princess can just spout blades out of her skin. Sure, fair enough. Yay, it me. Alright. You know what? I'm gonna take a break from that save and go a totally different route, I think.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I think I'm gonna be wishy-washy. Killing a princess seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
Okay, I mean, he's not wrong. Alright, can't someone else do this?
Unfortunately, you're the only one who can pull this off. I don't make the rules. I wish I did, but I don't. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Alright, let's proceed to the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Alright, I'm gonna take the blade, but continue to be wishy-washy.
It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Yep. So this is Chapter 1 default.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
Okay, so I think how ominous she sounds depends on if you grabbed the knife or not.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Alright, I'm gonna go with, hey, I think I'm here to kill you?
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the whole point is to be wishy-washy, so I haven't decided yet.
How about you drop the knife, and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Seems fair enough. But I'm not gonna drop the knife. Can we talk while I'm still holding the knife by chance?
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
But no, I wanted to talk to her.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it.
Man, at this rate, I'm gonna end up with the previous
So,
options.
You should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
Alright. Well, I guess part of being wishy-washy is making one choice and
You
then a
hear the
different choice.
conviction in her voice. Do you see the razor sharpness in her gaze? I don't think she's bluffing.
You do
She's
make a
unarmed.
good point.
If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
You do make a good point, Artemisia. I am gonna save here. Alright. I'm sorry. Can we just talk?
You're so close. Don't give up. You've come this far. No, this is a good idea. Maybe we can de-escalate things.
Oh, threatened, are we? You poor thing. Drop the knife, and of course we can talk.
Let's go with... I'm not dropping the blade.
Then I'm not talking to you.
Fine then, I guess we're at an impasse.
I guess we are.
For the love of everything, just slay her already. Or drop the blade. Do something.
Are you sure you don't want to talk?
Yeah, I'm sure.
For goodness sake, the two of you can't just stand around like this forever. Eventually, something is going to give, and I highly recommend that you be the one to take the initiative here.
Indeed, this is excellent. This is exactly what I want from the wishy-washy route. Well, if I have to choose... I'm mad I have to choose. Let's drop the blade.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, pretty awkward.
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me? Alright. I think we're gonna go with, I've been told things, but I'm not sure what to believe.
Believe me.
And do you think asking me what to believe is going to suddenly make everything crystal clear? Let's not pretend that's going to happen. As far as you're concerned, and as far as they're concerned, I'm going to say whatever I have to get out of here. That's just the dynamic of our situation.
She's not wrong. Alrighty. That's a good question. Who is they, Artemisia? Let's go with there are people out there who think you're a threat to the world. What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
That's cute. Do you believe that? Do you think I'm some sort of monster? If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Oh, interesting. The way I'm more inclined to trust you than I'm inclined to trust them with a capital T is a little... implies that the narrator is maybe the them? Let's deflect. What are you going to do if I let you out of here?
Princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find meaningful. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She makes a fair point.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
I mean, bold of the narrator to talk about subjugating. Yeah, okay, so here's some interesting questions. So let's start with, how long have you been down here?
Too long.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
What's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
She doesn't seem to have a name yet. So, how would I get you out of here?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
Alright, I'm gonna save here at the end of the talking brew. Or, talking after dropping the knife, I suppose I should say. Okay, we've talked enough, by which I mean, apparently I have nothing else to say or ask.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Oh, perfect for the wishy-washy answer. Okay, I'm also gonna save here. Maybe I should have done more sorting of my saves, but oh well. I'm gonna keep her locked away, because the whole point of this particular run is that I was trying to find third options for everything. I'm going to keep you locked away down here, at least for a bit. We can get to know each other better while I decide what to do.
That seems like a pretty good compromise. Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help. And if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
You
Oh
have
my.
to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
Ha! Yes. I made my choice. I'm locking her in the basement.
I know you think this is a fair compromise, but it isn't. No one wins here. It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work. If we just stay here and keep watch, no one has to die.
You're making a mistake.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way to the stairs.
It won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. Do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. Either way, she dropped her mask, didn't she? You can still turn around and finish the job.
Oh man, they really want me to make a decision one way or the other. No, we're sticking to the plan and locking her down here.
Be the death of all of us, but fine. Have it your way. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade. Okay, we can make this work. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out? It's not like this little door I'll hold for very long anyways. It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
Oh my.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare. As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forgive it.
Oh dang.
You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker. No, it doesn't.
Oh man. Okay, we're gonna save here as well because I don't. It's possible those turn into different things. I'm gonna go with this one. So all of this was just an act, wasn't it? You're not really innocent or harmless. You're not even a princess. You're a monster.
I can be innocent and harmless, if I want to be. Teasing me with fresh air and a chance to finally live freely doesn't inspire me to play nice.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall.
That does make it sound like she adjusts herself to you rather than the other way around. No, Artemisia, you can actually tell that you didn't leave the knife because the cursor shows if you're holding the knife or not.
You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar, its lock broken, and the table shoved out of the way. Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that awful basement.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach.
Whose side are you on?
Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
Doesn't it? Because I've kind of gotten the impression that it might, but...
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Oh my.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only helped me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
I'd say better luck next time, but we both know this is the end, don't we?
It can't be. This can't actually be how.
Oh my!
ends.
All right. You know, it's interesting because when she first bursts out, it's like she's like, "Thanks for helping me get out of that basement," which does imply that it's something that your character does that enables her to take those modes. I mean, I suppose either that or she was being sarcastic.
I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2. The Nightmare.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go with, but I died. What am I doing here?
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your
Yeah, okay, he said that before.
What if he hears us?
Oh, voice of the paranoid. I do just want to very quickly check. From the autosaves. I'm sure it's voice of the paranoid whether I said but I died or she's going to kill me again, but like, we'll just see what the other one does. She's going to kill me again!
Again? People don't die twice. You haven't even met the princess, and I hardly think she'd be capable of killing someone as skilled and courageous as yourself.
Uh-huh.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Shh! What if he hears us?
That's a very good question, little voice. What if he does hear you?
Shit!
I'm sorry, that's just so funny to me. Voice of the paranoid being like, shh, what if he hears us? And the narrator being like, good question.
I think you'll find yourselves very hard-pressed to keep any secrets from me. Not that it matters right now, because like I said, this is the first time we've met. Still, I'd rather not get off on the wrong foot. We've a world to save, after all.
Oh, alrighty. Let's go to the cabin, I guess.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her.
Okay. Well,
Don't
I
believe a
mean, I
word she
assume
says.
Vox Puppy, not just the princess, but the, voice as well, right?
I don't think lying and cheating is her thing. She was very direct with us last time. Or at least, she was direct with us after we decided to lock her away.
It doesn't matter. Don't trust anyone.
Alright, let's see what the cabin looks like this time.
The
Oh my.
interior of the cabin is plain, the smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The only furniture of note is a lone table, knocked on its side in the corner of the room. A pristine blade stands between you and the open, inviting basement doorway. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Hold on. What happened to the door? There was a door here last time. It's just an empty frame.
Okay, Fox Puppy. That's what I assumed.
She's already gotten out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes on us? I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. But if you keep getting stuck in your head like this, you're going to struggle to get the job done.
I don't know, narrator. This sure does look like she's maybe already gotten out. Also, just saying, there's these spooky eyes in the window. Sus.
So deep breath in, deep breath out. Your task awaits, and only you can do it.
Yeah. I mean, actually, this is funny that this is the first time I remember seeing that option. So, sure, let's try saying it.
Very different.
This whole cabin is different from what I remember.
I'm not the only one who sees her in the window, right? She knows that we're here.
Yeah, alright. I do see her in the window, that's true.
Calm down. Maybe the three of you just think everything is different because you haven't been here before. Enough of this past life nonsense. You haven't died, you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. A lot's riding on this.
Alright. Gonna comment on the mirror.
You're right. I was so stuck on the eyes watching us that I didn't even notice it then.
What are you two talking about? There isn't a mirror.
I mean, okay.
The blade sitting on the floor, and the open doorway leading to the basement. There's nothing else in here.
Yeah, alright. Voice of the Paranoid makes a good point. Too busy watching the creepy eyes out the windows to notice the mirror.
There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. We have to look at it. Unless that's what he wants us to do. And pretending it isn't there is a trick to get us
to do exactly what he wants. Sorry, I clicked too fast. Why would you lie about there not being a mirror when it's clearly right there? What's the point?
Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? That you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done?
Well, let's look at the mirror anyway.
You walk up to the wall next to the empty basement door frame. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
This really isn't funny.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. Did he make it go away? Clearly there was something in there worth investigating if he wants it hidden so bad.
Alright, well, when we have Voice of the Paranoid... Oh, hello, Pukura. I'm actually going to be ending soon, but thanks for lurking. Once I'm done with this, I think that's where I'm going to call it for tonight. But yeah, no, we're paranoid. Let's take the blade.
You reach down and pick the blade up off the floor. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good. Steel can't lie to us.
Is it gonna be enough, though? Couldn't you have given us something else? Something, I don't know, better than a knife? Could we have a bomb?
I'm with Voice of the Hero here.
The blade is the only thing you need to finish your task. You're more than capable of pulling this off, so long as you don't lose faith in yourself. Those are the words of someone who knows he's sending us to our death.
Well, enough dawdling. Oh
you
my!
cross over the threshold and onto a series of isolated steps, suspended in darkness.
So many eyes. Oh, so many eyes.
More eyes, too. You never mentioned the eyes.
The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Okay, we need a game plan. Last time we were here, just being close to her was enough to kill us.
Yeah, alright. There's a surprising number of options there. I'm gonna save and see what some of them do. How hard is it to throw a knife?
It can't be that hard. But then we'd lose our weapon. We'd have to make it count. Otherwise she'd be furious and we'd be defenseless. If a knife is even enough to do anything against something like her in the first place.
Oh, Pukara, this is free. Like, this is in demo mode. You can just pick up the demo and play it.
It'll be enough.
Oh my gosh, there's so many options. Alright, this is it started it all, but I'm gonna be like, I'm going to talk to her.
Didn't you hear my warning a minute ago? She can't be trusted. Talking won't do you any good.
Alrighty.
Something tells me she isn't going to be very keen on talking anyway.
I mean, voice of the hero is right.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones visible against the inky black of the basement mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways. At what seems to be the end of the room, they diverge in opposite directions, left and right. She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed. Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is? No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason here, and it certainly isn't you.
Alright. Sorry. Nah, my headband was falling off. I'm done with it. Alrighty.
Excuse me, I'm being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly describing whatever the hell we're looking at like it's an ordinary basement.
You know, again, I'm with the voice of the hero here. Voice of the hero is the only sane, or not sane, but like the only voice that's making sense right now.
We're going to die down here. I don't want to die again. Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter, because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
Oh dear. Yeah, so I guess it doesn't matter, but like, this is interesting, and I'm gonna poke more at it. Let's try going
back to the stairs, only to find that they aren't there. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are. I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches, your legs suddenly go numb.
Oh dear.
Your arms quickly follow. This is it, isn't it?
And you brought your little knife with you again. Cute.
There has to be a way out of this. Think! What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Oh, nightmare fuel. Oh. All right. I don't think it will look any different, but I just want to see if anything happens. Oh, thank you for the hydrate reminder, Pukara. I'm just gonna satisfy my own curiosity. Let's do nothing.
Decide it's best to do nothing.
There you are.
Yeah, okay, it's the same either way.
I told you I was going to find you.
I figured it would be that there was 4 options, but they meant nothing. I'm pretty sure this will also be nothing, so you know what? We'll just go back through this. Yep, alright, so we're gonna end on the nightmare for now. On that super creepy note, indeed. Yep, so I shall be ending here. And I definitely plan to come back and get more of the endings next. I don't know exactly when though. How to Pingu? It me. All right. Alrighty, so I'm gonna call it there for today. Let me actually just pull up a calendar and see if I can come up with a time that I would be able to do this again. And also, while I'm at it, I'm gonna check if Tapao is still live. Okay. Indeed. So Tapao of Vulcan, my fellow streamer and good friend, is currently playing The Sims. So we're gonna, for a total change of pace, we're gonna raid over there. And let's see. Okay. This weekend, maybe. Sunday, I think. I think I am going to try and do another installment of this on Sunday afternoon. Oh no, shoot, that's when Johnny streams. Have fun with that. You know what? TBD. Next stream of Slay the Princess is TBD, but I will be doing my normal Friday afternoon and maybe a Friday evening ? Stream on Friday, so look forward to that. And with that, we are gonna raid Tapao. Alrighty, thank you everyone, and I hope to see folks around again, and bye for now!